Hey, Robert. We're not riding Dobesh tonight. We're starting Jacob Fowler tonight. Jacob Fowler starts tonight. We got Fowler tonight. Sorry to break it to you if you're not feeling that, but yes, they're going with the backup against the worst team in the East. The worst team in the East by a mile. They are really freaking bad. I will say. So be it. So be it. Are you guys shocked that the Rangers are so bad? I guess it's so bad. Indeed, Fowler starting tonight. You say, I guess we'll see what Fowler has. I mean, Fowler's been pretty good so far. I mean, he hasn't been Dobesh good, but Dobesh also the hottest player in the league right now. So, expectations are, you know, that's the spirit. I guess we'll see what Fowler has tonight. We shall see indeed. But I've been super impressed with Fowler so far. I mean, 3 weeks ago, we were saying, oh, he'll be the number one for game one of the playoffs, and now he's not going to have to be, which is nice. But hey, Bob, looking forward to watching Fowler keep the streak going tonight. Robert says Cole gets two tonight, puts him one away from 50. My God. We were having questions earlier. Oh, is Caulfield going to reach 50? And I feel like now, um, you know, it feels like it's just a matter of when and not if. 3 goals, all he needs in the last 8 games of the season. So he has definitely scored better than that pace all season. So bound to happen, right? What are the odds that it doesn't happen for him? Do we got the lines though? Hold on, let me get the lines for you guys. Apologies if I'm a little out of breath. I've been running around all day. I had to run down to the went down to the office. Yeah, I do go to the office sometimes. I do these from home. I haven't done these from the office yet, but sometimes I go to the office. The place to be. All right. Here are the lines for you tonight. Oh my god. Formatting. I'm blind. Okay, Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky as always. Newhook, Kapanen, and Demidov. That second line seems to have stuck. Bolduc, Evans, Anderson, still the third line. Loving those two guys on the wings, man. They are banging and crashing. Veleno, Dano, Gallagher. Haven't heard much about Texier, but honestly, I think Veleno's won that job. Now that we're getting near the playoffs, I think they like having that extra physical face-off winning presence out there, especially with Dano, frankly, looking a little slow. On defense, Mathis and Dobson, they're going to keep as the number one pair. Struble Hudson seems to be working out pretty well. I mean, it's not my favorite, but so be it. And then, God, so tired. I was gonna say Guile, like Street Fighter. No, it's Kate Gooley and Arbor Jacki. Jacki was of course a healthy scratch for a bunch of time, and he's now back with Carrier out 2 to 4 weeks. Jacki is the man on defense, and Engstrom so far has been the seventh, the spare defenseman. Of course, Jacki also got a one start at forward, and we all were like, "Oh, is this a thing now?" Doesn't look like it's gonna be a thing. It looks like it was just a way to get him back in the lineup. Glad X is getting time. Robert says, yeah, I think we're all pretty happy. And I honestly, I thought he looked great against Tampa. He was not. I mean, Habs only gave up one goal. Obviously, the goaltending was a big part of that. But I thought against a bigger team like Tampa, I thought Jack Guy held his own. Hey Rick, thanks for joining. Thanks for thanking me and thanks for joining. David here from Ireland. I hope you're doing well, David. What time is it in Ireland? 5 hours? Is it 11? Is it almost midnight right now in Ireland? If so, thank you for staying up. We'll try to enjoy this game together. I think the Rangers, man. I hate to say it. Isn't this the exact kind of game that the Habs would just like flub? They went out and they beat some pretty amazing teams like Tampa and Carolina, Nashville, who's been on a tear, and then now they're playing the absolute lowest of the low, the absolute crapola New York Rangers. It's the exact kind of game that the old Habs would get lulled into losing. These are the new Habs that I think they got their eye on the prize. I'm hoping we don't see that from the Habs tonight. I'm hoping they have a chance to really to win the next. They play the Rangers, and then they've got a home and home on the weekend against the Devils, who also stink. So the Canadiens really have a chance to like basically. I mean, not just lock. I mean, the playoff spot's locked up already. By the way, Money Puck has them at 99.9% to make the playoffs. So everybody who said that the Habs were not going to make the playoffs, I think you can like breathe a almost a full sigh of relief. There's always that little chance, but you can breathe almost a sigh of relief there. The Habs are almost definitely going to make the playoffs. But now they actually have a chance. I mean, if they win the next 3 games, they're definitely going to put themselves up in a position to maybe pass Tampa. Are they in the conversation with the Sabres? I mean, this is some big home ice advantage in the playoffs, man, is not nothing. Good afternoon. Where are you? It's good afternoon. It's 7 here in Montreal, so it's evening for me. It's 5 to midnight for David Darcy. So enjoy the new day, the future. The future is bright for you, and come in a little sooner than us. Lots of games that affect the standings tonight with wins and losses. Rick, it's thank goodness the Habs went on the 7-game heater that they did, because the mess below them is crazy. Boston is in like a decent spot. So give it up for Boston. They're going to make the playoffs in all likelihood. But then after that, oh my goodness. Here, let's go check it out. It starts with the Islanders, who are third in the Metro with 89 points. Then 1 point back is Columbus at 88. Then, and they're eighth they're the second wild card. Then outside the playoffs, you have the Sens with 86, the Red Wings with 86, the Flyers with 86, and the Capitals with 85. By the way, the Rangers have won 3 games in a row. They are not totally helpless. Mark says, hey, Mark, by the way, a lot of talk on social media about Suzuki not passing to Caulfield with the empty net. I'm definitely the minority of those who feel Suzuki should have looked to pass it off. You know what? If he's great, Suzuki, maybe one of the best passers in the league. If he didn't see the pass, there was no pass. There was a chance for a turnover. End the game. You beat Tampa. Cole's going to be okay. Cole's going to score. 4 in the afternoon in Cali. Karen's still a late. How you doing, Karen, by the way? And you're still a late to bed. Normal bedtime is 2-3 a.m. Man, I'm that ain't me. That ain't me. David says, staying up would suggest my normal bedtime is around midnight. My normal bedtime has been 4 a.m. Yo, what is with you night owls? Shout out all you night owls. I love it. Robert asks, thoughts on the Leafs GM comments? My thought is, holy shit, that guy's clueless. Not the GM. Well, he's not the GM. You mean the president, Keith Pelly. But honestly, I think Keith Pelly is kind of the GM in a way. Like he's gonna be so hands on about this that he's gonna stifle whoever's gonna be the new GM in Toronto. I think Toronto is such a corporate run machine right now. And I don't know about you guys. How many corporations are run super amazingly and efficiently and are, you know, destined to win great things? I don't know that many corporations that are run that way. So I think that Toronto is in a lot of trouble. They can't rebuild because they have Austin Matthews still, and they have tickets to sell, and they have lots of money that they want to make. And that's the thing about Rogers. Rogers owns the Leafs because they want to make money. I will say that Rogers clued in that the Blue Jays were good and that they should put money into it so that they would win. So Rogers has clearly shown in the past that in the right situation, they will spend money and let the team win. But right now in Toronto, the Leafs have laid off lots of people behind the scenes. They'll spend to the cap. I don't have a doubt about that. But after that, it seems like the operation is getting a little like not as deep as other organizations. Um, and they're like too they have too many high priced talented players to rebuild, and they don't have enough to like win at all. So I think we're gonna get a couple more years of them being like an okay team as long as Matthews is there. And then when Matthews goes, they've got to like rebuild. And the only other way that this goes down is if they trade Matthews this offseason and they get somebody back that can help them uh like keep it going. But it just doesn't seem like they're committed to winning. It doesn't seem like they're committed to rebuild. Habs fans, I think, will look at the Leafs. These Leafs remind me a lot of the Habs in the late '90s when Molson was just like running things. They had kicked out Savard, kicked out Demers, kicked out Patrick Waugh, and Molson was just about like lining up their coffers. They just opened the Molson Center and there's bills to be paid, and they just ran that team into the ground. Toronto feels like that right now, where Rogers has paid an arm and a leg for the Leafs. They just paid an arm and a leg for the hockey rights for the next 12 years. That it's going to be a terrible deal for them. Um, and in their mind, I think the only way to make this work is to sell the Leafs for every penny possible, and that's where the Leafs are at. And I do actually feel bad for Leafs fans. I do. The fans I feel bad for. I don't feel bad for the media people who are constantly, stumping for them. I don't feel bad for, the big wigs at the NHL or anybody like that. I feel bad for the fans who are just like us. They got a team that they like, and they're going to have to put up with some real bad stuff for a little bit. A rebuild may be forced upon them regardless of their efforts, Skydigger says. Hey, Skydigger, by the way. Yeah, that's a definite possibility, but I don't think that it'll happen until the Matthews situation is resolved, whether he's traded or he leaves in free agency. As long as Austin Matthews is there, there will be some impetus to keep going. They're not going to rebuild around Austin Matthews because he's not under contract long enough for them to do it. And if he's there, they're not gonna like tear the team apart and keep him around. Like it's a weird situation. So as long as they have Nylander and Matthews and Tavares, I think they're just gonna like reshuffle the deck a little bit and see if they can get maybe a little younger and a little more exciting. The Sheldon, no, his name's not Sheldon. What's his name? Matthew Nyes. The Matthew Nyes trade was a weird thing because you're like, oh, he's the one young guy they have. But you know what? If you get two young guys for him, that's kind of where the Leafs are at, especially on defense. They need defense, and if that's the guy that you trade, you know, if they got Caden Gooley for him, I don't think Caden Gooley's going anywhere now, but that's maybe what they were looking for. Robert says he doesn't. No mercy for the Leafs. All right, well then Rare for some good days, I think. Look at the teams that are normally in the top 12 that are out of it. This league, the league parity is tough. And this was also a year where a bunch of teams that were rebuilding took a step forward. So it's like the Habs obviously took another step forward. They're a lot better. The Sabres finally figured their things out. The Sharks and the Ducks finally, they've been amassing picks for years, finally took a step forward. I'll even give it to the Flyers. The Flyers are back in it. Um, it's really just like Chicago is still like the team that's like Utah, they're good again. It's really just Chicago that like hasn't figured themselves out yet. Matthews post injury, stick a fork. It's very yeah. If I'm the Leafs, I'm pretty worried about his future because he looked bad all year. He wasn't himself before the injury, so I don't know. Also, you don't have Mitch Marner feeding you passes. Life's a lot harder. Mark says Habs have a tendency of playing down to bad opponents. Time to break the habit tonight. Yes, this game worries me a little bit for that exact reason. This is the exact kind of game that last year the Habs would not do well at. So that's why I'm hoping that this year the new Habs, new foot on the gas Habs, um, will not do that. Hopefully. As you get older, you wave off sleeping. It's a waste of time. Tick, tick, tick. Marty has them ready, Robert says. I mean, they love. You know what? Marty gets a lot of criticisms for like the granular decisions that he makes around here. Obviously Jack Guy and Montembeau and things like that. And then these criticisms are more than warranted. But I will say that the one thing that we cannot deny about Marty is that his players will skate through a brick wall for him. Like he has them like loving coming to the rink. And that's really special. Look at a team like Vegas that just brought John Tortorella in. To have a coach that your guys actually want to play for and play really hard for is hard to find. Players very often become disinterested, they get confused, they just get like, you know, as you guys I'm sure in your life and work as well, when you just like get too much information and it's like too much dumb information and you just like tune them out. Everybody does it. Everybody tunes out their boss at a certain point. So the fact that Marty's got these guys like psyched to come to the room, psyched to play, coaching themselves, coaching each other, like understanding the system. I know, man to man, I know. But you know what I mean? Like they bought in. They have totally bought in. Skydigger says, any plans for the long weekend? Will you be here Saturday? I'm afraid I won't be. I'll be on the website. I'll be updating on the website on MontrealGazette.com. But no live blogs this weekend. I have to go see my family who wonder what the hell I'm doing all the time and why I never see them. Not a fan of Marty, Mark says, but I do agree about the team loving him. And that's underrated. It's underrated. Even if like there are things that he does that we're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? At the end of the day, like having a team buy in and everybody's working together is a very special situation. David says, Marty's helped turn us around. Karen gets 10 hours a night. Damn. Jealous. The other Karen had the burger. I know, we got to hear about this burger. Karen, how was the hockey burger? Hopefully, Karen joins us. Oh, here we go. It was decent, not fantastic, but not bad. The three beef patties they advertised, more like three beef wafers. That's good. That's fucking funny. That's good. I like that. Making me a little hungry though. I ran from work, so I was like, kind of did a regular day of work. So I like had meetings all day. I went to the office, had meetings all day, took the bus back home, had a quick meal, spent a little time with my wife and dog, and then back out here. So I'm a little hungry. I didn't eat that much. Skyhaker says Marty's a Ted Lasso of hockey. That's a good thing, right? Ted Lasso, they won, right? Was that what happened? I can't remember now. Hot dogs at the Bell Center are the bomb. They are the best. Karen's got no. Karen doesn't have the hero burger tonight. Karen's got quiche. Robert says the Five Guys is overpriced. Five Guys is expensive. I will say, um, it is. Yeah, Five Guys is not an everyday thing. I will say. Is Matt Rempe playing? I don't think so. No Rempe tonight. Fuck, I don't recognize. No, you guys were wondering. No Rempe tonight. I honestly don't recognize half the players. I recognize Gabriel Perreault, Zibanejad, Lafreniere, Ty Karche, I don't really know. JT Miller, obviously, Connor Sheary, Will Coyle, Trocheck, Brodzinski, I even remember, and Sikora Laba Clamar, don't know him. Gavrikov, Fox, I know. Fortescue, this guy named Fortescue, I don't know him. Braden Schneider, I thought the Habs might be interested in him. And then I guess Matt or Nicholas Robertson, one of the Robertson boys, and Will Borgen with Shesterkin and Nets. That ain't not. That ain't much. These TSN studio hosts are brutal. Who are the hosts tonight? I'm watching on RDS tonight. By the way, I'm very, very sad and distressed about my colleague Brendan Kelly's article today. There's still 34 odd Montreal Canadiens games that have not been signed up for next season in French. RDS can't afford them, and TVA is like looking for a better deal. Okay, we're underway. First period underway. Habs winners of their last 7, Rangers winners of their last 3. So both teams playing well. Harry says, "Are we ready for a game without too much drama? A real shutdown's in order, but as has happened in the past, sometimes struggling against weaker teams. Has this team matured?" A little worried about French Habs rights. Hope that gets rectified. I know, me too. But yes, Fowler is in Nets tonight. If you guys missed it earlier, Rick Wood said, "Stop watching the leeches of TSN Sportsnet and that toilet paper of a journal, The Athletic. They're not giving the Habs the coverage they deserve." Really, The Athletic? You guys don't like? I thought you guys love The Athletic. You don't like Arpin Basu's coverage? I thought you guys were down with The Athletic. When did that change? Are we surprised that the Rangers were more active sellers at the trade deadline? Yes, I am a little bit. There was rumors that they were going to maybe trade Trocheck. Some of their defensemen were kind of in play. But there wasn't not a lot happened in the deadline in general. So I'm kind of like, I guess the offers weren't that good. Somebody should put in an offer for Lafreniere because Lafreniere is on fire right now. He's having a great second half. Madison Square Garden is on the second floor of the building, an entire floor underneath. Yeah, and a train station. Quite a engineering marvel, the Madison Square Garden. Beautiful place. I've seen shows there. I've never seen a hockey game though. Don't know how full it's going to be tonight though. My God, the Rangers are awful. The Rangers are eating crow for dumping the true star of the Habs, Jeff Gorton. Yeah, that was a huge mistake. Fowler's first save of the night. Dobish too cold to start after being hot. Marty doesn't want him winning the Calder. Well, they have the home and home this weekend, so they're gonna he's gonna play one this weekend for sure. Next four games against non-playoff bound teams. Yeah, I know. There's lots of possibilities for the Habs to add to their win streak if they stay focused. Dave Maloney says Montreal second only to Colorado in terms of skill. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so, especially now that I feel like Edmonton's kind of like a bit of a two man show. Well, Evan Bouchard's talented too. Edmonton would probably be up there too. But ooh, you're watching in 4K tonight. Skydigger asks, "Is there any truth that because of Gordon, Montreal and the Rangers will never do a trade?" I don't think so. I don't think that's written in stone. Uh, if it were that if that were the case, it's because of the Rangers owner who's like kind of petty. So I guess I would say that it's not out of the realm of possibility. I would not completely deny it, but we don't know. I don't believe they've made a trade in quite some time. Certainly since Gorton came on, but I don't know if there's a rule or anything. Jack I already spotted on the ice. Hope he gets lots of minutes in. Need him game ready for the playoffs. And this would be again these four games would be a great time to play him a lot. JT Miller, who was brought in to turn this team around and has had an absolutely atrocious season. Interesting to see how motivated he is now in these final games. Does he want to You know, he's a rather famously intense guy. Is he gonna want to prove that he still got it, or is he checked out? Love Kenny Albert's game call for real, man. And he covers like every sport imaginable. I love those guys. Those guys who can just like do any sport. Some very nice forecheck in here and cycling down low by the Habs third line. Oh my goodness, what great cycling! Oh, Anderson, man, with a shot that Shesterkin misplayed, and Evans was right there. Evans could have battened that one right home, and he missed it. But very nice cycling by the Evans line. You like to see it. Ah, you're not a fan of the Athletic because of their scouts, Wheeler and Corey Pronman, who you've called Prawn Knob, which is pretty funny. I enjoy a good play on words there, a play on a name. Yes, Pronman's like weird thing about Lane Hudson to the end was pretty funny. That even Fowler almost gave the puck away to the Rangers, but it gets batted away. Yes, Pronman, like even after Hudson's Calder winning season, still saying that I think Hudson might be a top four defenseman one day. Is pretty funny. Like I don't expect these scouts to be right all the time. Like every scout's gonna have like his mistakes, but his assessment of Hudson, he just like would not quit on that. It was pretty funny. Wheeler, I think, liked him a lot though. I think Wheeler also the one who really liked Joshua Waugh and Phil Mazar though. Who's that one? Whoops. Ooh, nice giveaway to the Habs at the blue line. Can they get something going? Oh, Caulfield was set up perfectly. Jack Todd's from Arizona, and he wrote a great story years ago about his first hockey game, sitting behind the net and hearing the thwack of a puck hitting the glove and falling in love with hockey. Jack certainly has a way with words. Max says you can tell that Anderson is feeling better. Yeah, for sure. He was great last game, and so far looking good today. Oh, we got a penalty here. Gavrikov is probably bleeding. Certainly looks like he's bleeding, or at least he's trying to sell it real hard. But it looks like Slavkovsky's got a high sticking penalty. Don't quote me on that. We'll get there. We'll get there in a second. But right now the refs are looking at Gavrikov, who's in the corner, certainly looking like he got cut in the mouth. No, it looks like Slav is gonna get 2 minutes. Well, good on Gavrikov for trying to sell that as hard as he could, but it looks like it's gonna be 2 minutes to Slav. Um, Might be a chance to see Lafreniere. Lafreniere is having a good season. I mean, when I say he's having a good season, he's got 22 goals. He's not like blowing it up, but considering where he was at the start of the season, I felt like he was always a weird choice on a team that had Kreider and Panarin. It just never seemed like there was room for him. But I feel like now he's a full time right winger. Like they just made him that. I guess it's a little bit like Slavkovsky too, who's like kind of become this like right. Oh no, he did get. Slav indeed will get 4 minutes. Is that what's what? Yeah, it is indeed a 4 minute double minor. Oh man, but no, it's Veleno who almost got the first chance on the 4 minute. Karen says, when I was little, my sister and I watched Captain Kangaroo, Friendly Giant, and Chez Ellen every morning through snowy television feeds with rabbit ear antennas covered in steel wool. Yeah, we don't always need more than that. Harry says, wow, Hudson and Demina talking French with Carrie on the commercials. Right? Am I crazy? Was that a new commercial? I saw that too, and I was like, yo, where's this coming from? Crazy. Oh, we get everybody's doing a little bit of scoreboard watching here. 4-2 Florida against Boston. Hey, the Habs don't meet Florida again this year, do they? I wouldn't want to. Florida, like, they're kind of like a little healthy again, and they're like a little pissed off. Would not want to meet Florida. Wow. So we're through the first. But then there's a nice chance for Cooley there. I mean, the Rangers haven't done jack all on this power play. Yeah, this Rangers team, man. If you're a Rangers fan, what do you have to look forward to? I think got some good young players. I shouldn't be like totally throwing them under the bus here. Lafreniere with a beautiful chance on Fowler, and another one. That's got to be Zibanejad who had that chance. Yeah, nice chances for Zibanejad and Lafreniere. There's 30 seconds left on this power play, man. They got their two chances there, but like otherwise they've really struggled to get like even set up. How did Zibanejad get 70 points this year? There's nobody on that Rangers team that's played particularly well. And Zibanejad, who looked like he was finished a year ago, has like suddenly reawakened. Oh, that was Dobson on JT Miller. What a nice little sneaky play. Sneaky play by Dobson there to prevent a chance. Dobson prevented two very good chances. Oh, Fowler got beat, but Rangers hit the post, and now the puck leaves, and we are back to 5-on-5. The Montreal Canadiens have killed a 4-minute double minor to start this game. What a huge, huge opening for the Habs. Now let's see if they can get some momentum here. They're trying to find Demidov. Oh, and what a giveaway. The Kapanen, and Kapanen's going to get hooked. And now the Habs are going to go to the power play. Kapanen had a very nice scoring chance thwarted by what looked like a little bit of a hook of the stick. Blue, hey Blue, says Dobson has played great all year. I happen to think so too. I know we talked a little bit about it last game after the Gensel goal, where people were kind of like, ugh, this guy definitely has his warts on defense. And I'm not going to say that he's not a perfect defenseman. He certainly isn't, but the things that he does well, he does extremely well. And the Habs are a much better team with him on it. You guys are talking about old TV shows, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on here. All right, shout out your old TV shows. I mean, I watched The Friendly Giant. I know what you're talking about, Mr. Dress Up. I did watch that. Ron Roosh. Oh, now we're talking about like old school Montreal sports guys. I love it. I'm too young. Yeah, no, the shows that I watched in the '80s. I watched, Sesame Street. Today's Special was the big Canadian show that I watched. I was a big fan of Today's Special, and then a lot of YTV stuff. I was big. I was a YTV era person. I did watch Mr. Dress Up. I did watch a lot of Mr. Dress Up for sure. Caulfield time sure is because big power play coming up. Great chance by Kapanen here, and good job by Kapanen just going up the middle, knowing you're going to get the hook. And if you wonder why Patrick Laine doesn't show up anymore, it's because they have the fourth best power play without him. They don't even need him. Slavkovsky to Caulfield in front, perfectly executed. But Shesterkin came around and made the save, but couldn't have played that one any better, frankly. That was the textbook passing sequence that they try to do on this power play. Oh man, the Canadians got it back. They won the battle down low and passed it back to the point, but unfortunately, the defenseman had come up to like help out, and they missed that. That's a bummer. YTV, you can't do that on television. I love you. Nostalgia ain't what it used to be. That's a good line. Rugrats. I definitely watched Rugrats. Rugrats is a little after my time though. I was, I think, a little old for Rugrats, but I think I watched the tail end of it. There's 50 seconds left of this power play, and they haven't really, other than that one chance at the beginning. Okay, here we go. Now the second unit's on. They've entered the zone. Gallagher's on the second unit. I don't know why. And he gave the puck away. Dano with a chance. Puck's still in. I mean, we're back to 5-on-5. Ooh, Josh Anderson took some. Anderson is looking like he's in a lot of pain. It looks like he took the puck. The puck deflected. There was a point shot. He was in front of the net. Puck deflected and got him like kind of up in the visor. I don't know if that was a stick off the deflection or if it was the puck. I think it was the puck, but either way, Anderson looks like he's in a little bit of pain. I don't think he's like I don't think he broke anything, but he did just take a puck to the face. So poor Anderson has been playing so well. He played so well like the last game coming back from injury. And I think he's had a pretty good season. I gotta say, I'm happy with his play, but that's no fun. That's no fun. Galley there is such a mystery to me. Why? I really have no idea. Honestly, I don't know why Gallagher plays in the power play still. Ernie Coombs, nicest man in the world. Mr. Dress Up. I hope he really was. That's what people seem to say. Did you guys watch? I watched like Raffy. I was like Raffy era, and what's the guy's name? Fred Penner. Fred Penner's Place. I was a big fan of, and God, what's the name? Sharon Lois and Bram. I was big on Sharon Lois and Bram. Guys, were you guys into Sharon Lois and Bram? Love Sharon Lois and Bram. Anderson's the kind of player who will be important in the playoffs. Hugely important in the playoffs. Anderson is playing so well. Now he's snake bit. Well, we don't know that. He took a puck to the face, but he might come back in. He might just have a bit of a shiner or something. All these teams faltering like the Rangers and Leafs are using the speed and success of the Habs to pacify fans of their faults and the Stars team and management in place. Fans believing them also. What do you mean? You mean that they're like, oh, these Habs are fast. Like, no wonder we can't win. Is that what you mean? I don't know. I will say people. I mean, the whole thing this week about the Leafs not seeing the Habs coming was like super bizarre. Don't say that. You just gave Habs fans ammo. Dangle said that. Dangle said that, but he's right. He's right. I don't think major damage hit the side of his helmet. I hope so. I hope he's fine. Okay, Anderson is back on the bench. What is a snake bummer? No, he said snake bit bummer. Like, what a bummer. He's snake bit. But he's not. He's back on the bench. He's okay. Anderson probably feeling it in his face, but he's okay. Oh, nice deflection. Slavkovsky in front, man. Sure, Sturkin had to make a really nice save to keep that one alive. Blue says a lot of people are complaining about too much passing on the PP, but the Habs have been top 10 for a majority of the year, and it has helped win a lot of games. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Habs power play works. It's best to not, you know, best to not overthink it sometimes. The power play, I think, has been. I'll say it's run a little hot and cold at times this year. It's obviously very hot lately, but hey, at the end of the day, it is the fourth best power play in the league, and has been mostly. It's been top 10. You're right, all year. So nothing but love for the power play. I find the second unit's kind of weird right now, but whatever. They're not used very often. Karen, so enamored with Ernie Coombs, I stood up at the show and yelled, "I love you, Mr. Jessup." Where did you see Mr. Jessup show? Like a live show? That's cool. Or do you mean when you watch the show on TV, you like would talk to the TV? Not a terribly interesting game so far. No, it's not, Mark. Al Wilson asked, just got in and saw Anderson skating to the bench with his head down. What happened? He took a puck to the face or like the head area. The puck was off a deflection and it hit him in the face. He's okay though. He's on the bench. He's not. He did not leave the game, as far as I know. It didn't look fun though. I will say, it didn't look fun. Al Wilson was a man. Saw Mr. Jessup live in Moncton, whereas Karen saw him at Théâtre Saint Denis. Dobson with a big blast, and the puck goes wide. Canes are leading 7-4 in shots right now and have slowly kind of taken over this game here since going on the power play. But they haven't really. They've had some chances, but they haven't really put one close yet. Though he wasn't Canadian, Captain Kangaroo. Yeah, people love Captain Kangaroo. Honorary Canadian, maybe. Pretty interesting set that the Habs are the only team in the league with one losing streak of 3 games. Consistency has been good. Yeah, they have not had any extended losing streaks this year. It's kind of nuts. They've been a great team. There's a lot of signs with the Canadians that if I like was not watching the team every game, I would be like, oh wow, this team might really like upset somebody in the playoffs. Uh, and then you watch them and you're like, you watch them a lot, and obviously you start to notice like this and that. But you know what? On paper, like they look like a team primed to upset somebody in the playoffs for sure. Mr. Jessup died right before 9/11. Jeez, and then I dreamt about him. I asked him why now, and he said because he couldn't bear to watch people hurting each other. Oh my goodness, he came to in a dream. I don't know how I feel about the dreams. I don't remember my dreams particularly well. I don't have like specific dreams like that. My dreams are more just like most of my dreams are about. I don't know about you guys. I graduated from university 20 some odd 20ish years ago, and I still have dreams about like being late for class. Oh man, I always had that dream about like I show up on the last day of school and I'm like, man, I missed the whole semester. I don't remember anything. I still have those dreams. I don't know why. I graduated just fine. I have my bachelor's. I'm never going back to school, but for some reason, I still have dreams about missing class and being late for school. On the New York broadcast, are talking about Ed Jacoman. Is that how you pronounce it, Ed Jacoman? And the Gumper fighting 69 playoffs. Oh baby, yo! Did you guys see the goalie fight the other day between Markstrom and Shesterkin? Great fight. Yeah, did you guys see the Shesterkin Markstrom goalie fight the other day? That was a good one. It's a good tilt. Eric, they're using the Habs fast rebuild and success in drafting as an example of what can they can do if they're going to rebuild. A normal rebuild takes minimum 8 years. Oh, I see what you mean. They're being like, oh, if the Canadiens just like, yeah, I guess here's the interesting thing about the Habs rebuild. So one way they tried to like expedite. First of all, they were able to expedite the rebuild because they already had Suzuki and Caulfield. So you already have your two best players like there. Uh, and then they were able to like they had a very fortunate draft with Slavkovsky and Hudson. So suddenly you've got like like four key players. Then you're able to get Demidov 2 years later, which was huge. And then now you're like good again, but I just don't know. I don't know how replicable that is for other teams. I mean, San Jose have clearly tapped into something because they got Macklin Celebrini, who I think once McKinnon and McDavid take a step back, Celebrini will be the best player in the NHL. Oh, Matheson just gave the puck away right in front of Fowler, but Fowler was able to bail him out. I mean, so far so good for. I noticed Kirby Duck wasn't dressed tonight. That's funny. Kirby Duck. Oh, huge save by Fowler there. Good fight, not really necessary. I mean, can you? Isn't that what most fights are really? Karen says many people come to me when they die. Started university in 1988 and haven't finished 78 credits. Is that how many? How many do you need? Did you get 78 or do you need 78? You're almost there. I mean, what a boring period. Yeah. Oh my God. The best scoring chance so far is Matheson on his own goalie. Very funny. I mean, that was a pretty even period. I think I'll give a slight edge to the Habs, who you know Al Wilson, the man, asked, "Well, imagine if we didn't draft KK and got whoever's a superstar nowadays instead. Can't remember players from this draft year." Well, it's funny because the guy that people talk about that I wish we had gotten instead was Brady Kachuk, who's basically uh, throwing his own team under the bus right now, and I feel like he probably would have done that here. So honestly, the Kakayemi thing, didn't work out. No worse for wear, really. They turned him into Dvorak, who was okay for a couple of years. Now they seem like okay up the middle. I'm just gonna chalk up the Kakayemi thing as it happened and it's done now. Would have been nice to get somebody else, but honestly, they might have gotten Zadina. They might have gotten Brady Kachuk, who looks like miserable in Ottawa right now and probably wants to play in the U.S. So you know what? Well, I'm just gonna take that as a not a win, but as a like a zero sum thing. We didn't win, we didn't lose on that deal. When was the last time the Habs reached 100 points? That's a good question. Let me check for you. Last time was the last time Habs got 100 points was 2016, 2017. Do you guys remember that year? Do you remember this year well? What happened this year? They got 103 points. They lost in the first round. Oh, was that they lost to Boston? That was a Michel Terrier year. Pacioretty scored 35 goals. That was the Radulov year. That was the first, a.k.a. the first Radulov Weber year. What a weird, like... It was so weird. If they had, like the Weber, the first Weber year, like, worked out pretty good for them. If they had just kept Radulov, kept Markov was still here. Yeah, Markov was still here. What if they just kept that team intact? What would have happened? I mean, Plekanec's already falling off. Kind of a weird team, actually. Danault is, like, just getting better on this team. Galchenyuk has a good year. Man, there was no offense that year, though. Without Radulov. But imagine that team. What could have been with that team? That must have been a year where... Rick says KK was solid here. Wonder if he had stayed, what his career would have been. Remember the fight he had with Hag for the cheap shot? Yeah, I did. Kotkaniemi definitely, like, didn't have the upside. He definitely didn't have the upside that I think people were looking for in the end. But I will say that um, there was, like, the pieces of a... After, like, pieces of looking like potentially a good defensive, like a good two-way center, I was like, oh, maybe he could. Anyways, not to be. And now he's pretty much... I mean, somebody's gonna take a chance on him next year for sure, but I don't know who. What did you guys think of Brady Kachuk kind of throwing Allmark under the bus on that Kachuk family podcast? There was a spell there towards the end with the Habs where they showed glimpses. Did we have a rental a couple years back? Ilya something. We sure did. He was great. That was fun to watch. Well, he was a rental, and then they traded him. Literally that same... Mezar. Yeah, Mezar did not has not panned out. Can't believe the Leafs gave up Minton and a first for Brandon Carlo. Minton is really good. That was a really bad trade. Oh my god. That was a pretty disastrous trade. That's definitely one of the ones that cost Treeliven his job. KK would have worked out if then Bergevin would still be here. So no thank you. Well, that's quite a mix of was a butterfly effect right there. Some sliding doors. Brady won't sign another contract in Ottawa. Absolutely not. He is could not be more out of there. For sure not. He's done. I don't even know if he lasts his contract. When is contract up? I don't think he lasts his contract. He's gonna be like Matthew Tkachuk. He's gonna ask to go. I didn't hear about that podcast. What was said? So in the podcast, so it's the Kachuk family podcast. So it's Keith Kachuk with the two boys, and Keith Kachuk started bad mouthing Allmark about him basically pulling himself right before a game that he wasn't feeling well, and Brady kind of, or and then Keith was kind of making fun of Linus Allmark and Brady and Matthew Kachuk. Matthew Kachuk weirdly was not feeling it, and then Brady got in on it too and was kind of laughing about it. So clearly, Brady Kachuk does not respect his goalie at all, and it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad for team unity. Ottawa Senators, man, it never ends with those guys. It's got to be Ottawa. The Ottawa is the common denominator here. It just makes you like miserable to live in. Nobody here lives in Ottawa, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. I got friends who live in Ottawa. They'll live there. They'll make their money, but I don't know anybody who's I love living in Ottawa and it makes me a very happy, productive person in life. Don't kill the messenger here. Ryan Whitney is jumping on the Habs bandwagon. Everybody is hyping the Habs bandwagon right now. The Chicklets, Dangle, Pierre, like LeBrun, Drager was like talking up. They can't deny the Habs anymore. They can't deny the Habs anymore. They see it. The Habs are getting there. I think Kakemi liked being here. He had a good report with Suzuki and Caulfield. He lacked that attachment to other players when he left. Yeah, I don't know. Like there were things that were gonna get in Kakanyemi's way so that he was never gonna be a star player. He didn't read the plays fast enough. He was not very good. Like when the puck was on his stick, he like didn't quite have the quickness, like the mental quickness to like make like a quick play. You know what I mean? He wasn't like super gifted that way, but he's like a pretty hard-nosed guy. I think he could have been very physical. I think he could have chipped in a little bit on offense. Um, could have been a good two-way center, which, as you guys know, in this league, a two-way center is really hard to find. Like the Canadiens, once like this Dano contract runs out, are probably going to go back on the market looking for somebody like a younger Dano that they can implement in the lineup. That's why we see a guy like Nicolas Roy get traded like multiple times, and people always give up a lot for him. That kind of player is super valuable, and Kotkaniemi should be that. I don't understand why he's not even that in Carolina. The Carolina fans that I've spoken to just say that Brendan Moore just fucking hates the guy and just like won't give him a chance. If that's true, send him somewhere else. Kotkaniemi in like Chicago or something would thrive. Thrive. He'd do okay. Florida. He needs another shot somewhere else. Back to the Habs. Wouldn't that be funny? It's funny because the Canadiens this offseason, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they have Dano under contract next year. They can't. To the room, can the Habs win the cup this year? I say yes. Why the hell not? Oh, momentum is a crazy thing. I think the Canadiens can beat anybody in the Eastern Conference. I'm not saying that they're better than the Sabres or Lightning. They definitely aren't. But I'm saying that in a 7-game series, man, anything can happen, and they're close enough to those teams that they maybe got a shot. So if they get out of the first round, if they got to meet Tampa in the first round and they get out of the first round, I think they can go to the finals. I think whoever they face in this first round is probably the hardest team they're going to face. So in that respect, I think they have a possible chance. As for the West, it just feels like Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. They're so good. They're so good. It's hard for me to see them beating Dallas in a series. Dallas to me, Colorado's kind of weird. They got Kadri now, so I think they're just gonna ride high. They'll be good. But something about that Dallas team, man, is so fucking stacked, start to bottom. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot tonight. I'm very. This is me. This is me on a Thursday night after a long week. This is Eric after dark tonight. No, I won't swear anymore. I swear. Um, yeah, that's a tough one. I think winning the West. Skydigger says the West will kill each other to get to finals. That is the one way the Habs get there. I feel like that happened a little bit when the Habs made it to the final, and the Vegas team that they met in the third round was a team that had been like beaten up pretty badly by the time they got there. And the Habs had a little bit of an easier path. I think that's fair. So if Dallas and Colorado, Karen says, I need more sleep. There's too much news, Karen. There's too much news. I can't sleep. There's too much news. Too much going on. I love my job too much. What can I say? But the thing about the West is look at their numbers against the West teams and the East team. The West has a lot of bad teams. Yes, the Colorado, Dallas, Mini, those teams have definitely pounded away at some really bad teams in their own division, even. But they're really good. I'm not saying the Habs can't beat them. I'm just saying they're really good. Hull. I'm always down for a Hull shutout. They had bars open Sunday 2 a.m. weekdays. Most Ottawa closed after 10. Yeah, Hull is great. Shout out Hull. Nice to see that Josh, okay, there's lots of J's here. Josh is okay. Jacob doing a Yakub. Oh, yeah, I never quite clocked that both our goalies are basically named Jacob. I remember watching Ottawa News with Max Keeping, and he claimed if you want to have fun, go to Hull. Yeah, I'm liking this Hull chat here. Was on Hockey with an Accent. A poster mentioned he placed $10 bet on the Habs to win the cup at plus 35. Oh, 10. I'll put $10 down. I don't gamble, but I'll put $10 down on mise au jeu. Blue says I think they're better than the Sabres. That's tough. I don't know if they're better than the Sabres, but I think they can beat the Sabres. David says, I believe so. They're gelling at the right time. Habination says, I say yes. Why not? Karen seconds that. Yeah. Max says, beware of the Hull police. What are the Hull police up to? Odds went down overnight. In the positive or negative? I kind of would like to see Patrick Laine play one more home game. I think the ship has sailed on Patrick Laine, I'm afraid. Ryan just came in. Looks like he didn't miss. No, he did not miss much. Ryan, you missed us talking about Mr. Dress Up. You missed us talking about why Hull is better than Ottawa. Those are the important conversations that you missed. As for the game itself, yeah, I can't say that we missed. I can't say that you missed very much. The Sabres can clinch tonight. Also, Hurricanes, Lightning, Minnesota. Man, so the Sabres would clinch for the first time in 14 years, right? It's been 14 years. So Noah Dobson played. He had 3 shots on goal and played 8:07 in the first period. He's going to. You know what? The nice thing about Dobson and Matheson is that neither of them seem to get particularly tired. They can play a lot, which is nice. A nice feature to have We don't have them play that much. I mean, 25 minutes a night, but it seems like if they needed to play more in the playoffs, they could. Skydigger says, I hope Cole gets 3 tonight. Max says, Hull police were nasty when I lived in Ottawa, and I hated living in Ottawa. See, I'm telling you. People move to Ottawa, they got to move, they get the federal government job or whatever, and like, they can't wait to get out of there. Skydigger says, I'm happy for Sabres fans. Yeah, I can't, cannot also hide my happiness for Sabres fans, man. Life's not easy in Buffalo. Good for them. How much time for Arbor Jackeye? Arbor Jackeye played 253. Not much. Womp womp. 253 for Jackeye. Not much. How does that compare to Struble? Struble played 342. Also not much. There are 4 defensemen tonight, and they're not the 2 of them. The puppets on Mr. Dress Up were less scary looking than those on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. This is true. The Pens are up 2-1 on Tampa. Oh, that's interesting. So the Habs could potentially tie for second place tonight, right? If they win here and we had Demita behind the net, but trying to find Caulfield in front, but not quite. So far, so good for Fowler. He's got Casey was a little odd looking, and Jerome the Giraffe was creepy. I don't remember either of these characters. You made me think of Eddie Murphy. I did. I made you think. I'm definitely not as funny as Eddie Murphy. I wish I was. Mr. Dressup's wife did the voices of Casey and Finnegan, and when she died, he used different puppets. My God, this is sad. That's getting sad. This Mr. Dressup talk. Oh, Blue's a Fraggle Rock fan. Yeah, I like Fraggle Rock. You know what? I watched Fraggle Rock. I remember the theme song. I can't say that I remember much about like what it was about though. Not in the way like Muppet Show. I remember Muppet Show. This feels like it might be offside. Great chance though. Bolduc set up Lane Hudson in the middle of the ice really nicely. But a nice save by Shesterkin. Shesterkin's going to be hard to beat tonight. Shesterkin, still one of the elite goalies in the league. I know he's not having like the greatest season in the world, but still elite. Am I crazy, or was there a time when the white away jerseys were at one point their home jerseys? That is true. The white jerseys pre like 2005 lockout, the whites were home. So will the game pick up and we can start chatting about hockey? Well, there's a Jack Eye's got somebody in a bear hug in the corner right now. Does that count as hockey? Barely. This is what we said we were worried about. We were worried about the Habs getting lulled into a boring game with a bad opponent. But honestly, this I can deal with. They're still like they're one shot away, and they happen to have maybe the best goal scorer in the league on their team. So why did they switch the home red white away? They switched primarily because the third jerseys are typically colored jerseys and they wanted to make and sell more of them. So if you're the home team and you have one white really, there's one version of white. But then if you have third or fourth jerseys, they tend to be colored jerseys. So you could have all those jerseys at home and then you would sell more of them. That was the ethos behind it all. I know that's not the most exciting. In the '60s, the Habs were red at home. Yeah, when did they bring in the whites? The whites. I mean, there were the reds only for the longest time. Road games are tough. At least this wasn't a Western road trip. Yeah, we got. That's a good point. That's a good point. You don't want to like discount that the Rangers have won 3 in a row and they're at home. Like they're not a total like loser opponent. They're a layup, but they're not like that bad a layup. Hey, Mark. Ernie Coombs' wife was tragically killed by a car outside my Loblaws on Young Street. God damn, it's sad. You guys, the sad Mr. Dress Up facts. That's that's pretty tragic. Ooh, Gallagher with a blast. Nice chance by Gallagher, and then the Rangers took the puck the other way and had a 3-on-2, and they went offside, so it didn't work out. Habination says it works. I have a white jersey, and the rest are red. The RDS guys are really complimenting Joe Valeno for his back check on that play. I think Joe Valeno's won a playoff spot. I think he's the gritty fourth liner that they've been looking for. I think he's playing the way that, and the fact that they don't need him to provide any offense whatsoever. I think Joe Valeno has, yeah. It'd be nice for Fowler to have a shutout. I have a blue Caulfield 22. Oh, that's like out of date in two ways. But you know what? The good thing about out of date jerseys is they come back in style. I have a couple of like old jerseys that are like they've come back in style and they're pretty cool again. Yeah, I want to know, has Joe Valeno won a spot in the playoff lineup? I think he has. I think he went from being a healthy scratch for like 30 games to like suddenly being a pretty indispensable member of their fourth line. And he helps Dano a lot because Dano has really, I think speed wise, Dano has really crashed in the East Conference. And what a goal, Newhook! 1-0 Habs. What a shot by Alex Newhook. How about that? Right off the face-off draw, He was pretty far out, man, but he caught Shesterkin napping. Face-off win for the Habs. The Rangers actually had a chance to clear, gave it away up the middle, and a simple shot, man, top of the hash marks, basically. Who got him the puck? Demidov with a beautiful no-look pass. And it's 1-0 Habs. That was huge. Very, very nice. Alex Newhook, man. I don't know what his future is on this team. He's like possibly like a legit second liner. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. So far we've got 1 assist on the play. It's Demidov. I think that'll probably stick. I don't think I'll add another one. But Demidov, man, Demidov is back. Newhook reacted like he scores 40 every year. Yeah, he's good. Nice snipe. Nice demi feed. All right. Let me know. Is Newhook a good second liner? Is he a second liner on this team? Let me know. Habination says he's a no hands Byron third liner, in my opinion. I think that's fair. I do think he's probably a third liner. Michael Paul says the same thing, third liner. Skyhook Digger says, wasn't Newhook a center in Colorado? Yes, and he was a second liner for a little bit here too. I don't think it panned out. I think that ship has sailed. Sky Digger, though, he does say he's a second liner. Yeah, I think Newhook at center that ship has sailed. And Caulfield is number 48. For real? Are we for real? Caulfield has 48. That came out of nowhere. What a shot. Oh my God. I was typing up the last goal. That puck. What a beautiful pass. Guys, am I crazy? Did you guys just see the passing that Suzuki and Slavkovsky did to get the puck to Cole Caulfield? Am I crazy, or was that just like Harlem Globetrotters level something right there? Holy moly. Unreal passing on that play. I am just like perpetually in shock of what that first line can do. Hey, what I missed, Armenia says you just missed 2 goals in a minute, like less than 2 minutes. 1-2. Beliveau vibes first in the East. That Slavkovsky play was so smooth. Incredible goal. Just missing switch Georgia Brown. Exactly. Which one was Curly Neal? You guys know your Harlem Globetrotters. I love it. Beautiful passing. Kelly Morgan says, good puck movement, then bam. I remember when they would fall apart in the second. Karen says, not anymore. Kelly 2, Kelly Winger. Ridiculous pass. Halfway there. You're almost there with your 2-goal. Yeah, your 2-goal prediction. If Caulfield scores 50 at home, this place will absolutely go hog wild. I know. It's got to happen at home, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? When are they home? Home soon. Power play. Yeah, he needs to get a power play goal and then an empty net. Oh my god, if he scores 50 on an empty netter, that'd be hilarious. To think some Habs fans were calling Slav a bust. Let that be a message to all. No, I don't think people. I mean, people were definitely down on him for a while, but I gotta say, that's why we gotta. That's why they tell us to be patient. And every time I feel a type of way about David Reinbacher, I'm like, hey, you gotta chill a little bit. Not that I think he's gonna be like amazing, but you know what I mean. Cole Caulfield has 27 goals in his last 27 games. Unfreaking believable. We got a Rangers 3-on-2 that died about 5 seconds later. Can you imagine Slash 22 years old? He just turned 22. Nice try by the Rangers there. I won't cut him some slack. But man, the Rangers are not good. They are not a good pass. They're a really bad passing team. I will say. There aren't too many players in the world that can shoot like Cole Caulfield. No, he's a special character, that one. And man, he can shoot from just about anywhere. I was one, but he's falling down all the time. I've become flexible in my opinions. Habinations, there's something that they say in the business world: strong opinions loosely held. Adhere to that. I'd say most Habs fans adhere to that. It's like winning the Stanley Cup at home. You just got to win it or score it when you can, home and away. Timur, yes, you guys. Some of you guys are asking about what the hell happened to Timur. I don't know what happened to Timur. Bless his heart. Not. I will say the last couple times we saw him, Timur was a little bit more acknowledging of that he's good. He wasn't as dedicated to get dedicated to the hating as usual. So Nate McKinnon does have 50. Nate McKinnon's already. Guys, this power play is, or this second period is all Habs at the moment here. And who's that? Gabriel Perreault with a. Oh no, it's Gabriel Perreault, and then who's that guy who? Poor Bolduc took a lot. Zachary Bolduc is playing good too. Zachary Bolduc is hits everything that moves. Bolduc, Anderson, Veleno on the bottom six. You got some heavy hitters. I will say, like you're starting to see more of a physical edge from that bottom six. Bolduc and Anderson, man, they hit everything that moves. I love it. Demidov with kind of a weird pass here, but yeah, they're back on the power play. Chance for more. Ooh, Slavkovsky really tried to feather a really good one. Hey, I guess when you're up 2-0 on the Rangers, you can try some all-star level stuff. But you got to imagine they're going to try to get the puck to Caulfield here. Yeah, they're like really centering on Caulfield right now. Caulfield actually lost the puck and then dumped it down the ice. Habs consult the Liveblog feed after every game. They ought to. They really ought to. Arbor gets a plus. Arbor's playing some good hockey, man, since he's back on the defense. I like it. Oh, Caulfield with a really nice shot. Now the net way off its pegs. Demidov seems okay, but I'm not going to lie. He got hit into the net. He hit the post real hard. Braden Schneider, and his leg got a little tucked under the post there. He's back on the bench. I think he's all right, but scary play for sure for Habs fans. Don't want to see. Don't know yet. Kapanen to Bolduc back door. Bolduc had wide open net, but he could not get it in. All right, now Kapanen setting up here in the Caulfield spot. Damn, Newhook was in the perfect spot in the bumper position for a one-timer, and Kapanen passed that puck right into his legs. Hopefully, Demidov can put about 15, 20 pounds. I don't know if 15, 20 is the amount, but he'll bulk up a little bit. He's already bulked up a bit. Okay, so we're back to 5-on-5, but the puck is still in the Rangers zone. Can the Habs take advantage of still having the puck in the offensive zone here? Oh! Kapanen with a really nice pass to Anderson, but the puck just floated over his stick. And now we have a very broken stick on a one-timer that flew halfway across the ice. Luckily, he was right at the bench and he was able to get one right away. Ooh! Matheson nearly got beat, but he was able to like hack away. Brady Tkachuk got a penalty for sitting on the bench. The guy is such a clown. Yeah, it's funny. For years, Habs were like, "Oh, I wish we had drafted Brady Tkachuk." And nobody's doubting that Brady Tkachuk is a great player, but I would say that for the Senators right now, he's probably more harm than good. Could you imagine if this team, if Andy and Bolduc had hands? Well, Bolduc has maybe one of the best shots on the team, but he doesn't put himself in that many positions to take advantage. But Bolduc has a great shot. He doesn't have hands. You're right, though. He doesn't have hands, though. He doesn't have hands. He can't. He's not deacon through a guy. But his finishing is a lot better than Anderson. That's for sure. So we're doing some like little like score watching here. We're not score watching, stat watching here. We've got Nick Suzuki at 93 points, 7 away from 100. Slav is at 67 points. He's 3 away from 70. And then we've got Demidov at 59. He's going to get 60. Robert asks, what am I drinking? Literally ice water in a mason jar. Nothing fun. Nothing fun. I got to watch my throat, you know? My throat's got to be good. Just staying a little bit lubricated tonight. Max says, I keep waiting for a big push from the Rangers. Well, that's, I think, what Rangers fans have been saying all year, and it hasn't happened. That's what she said. I love seeing Caulfield having more goals than Connor McDavid. Damn, that's true, eh? I mean, Connor McDavid has about a bajillion assists, but yeah, man, Cole Caulfield is as good a goal scorer as there is in this league, and maybe the best. My cat just got neutered, Harry said, wearing the cone of shame. His expression hasn't changed for the past 5 days. No, he's probably real pissed off. Probably wondering why you did that to him. Tampa, Pittsburgh tied at 2. Buffalo up 1-0 on the Sens. Oh, that's the Sens season right there, right? If they can't. Oh, Robert says that my drink is boring. I know. It's a school night though. I don't. I try not to drink much on the weekdays. Also, I haven't been grocery shopping in a minute, so I don't have anything on the bin in the fridge. I might have a little bit of Amaro after the game though. Is that exciting? A little bit of Amaro with ice. I'll do that. So what do we got here? We got Demidov in the box. So he's healthy, but he is in the box. So now it's a Rangers power play. And I mean, it's just two. It's the dreaded 2-0 lead, right? So who knows what could happen? What are the shots? It's 69 Habs. Hockey and IPA are a good mix. I mean, hockey and IPA go good with just about anything. They're great together. No, dread, yeah, exactly. Dread 2-goal lead. Bad penalty. Yeah, that's like a laziness penalty for sure. Schaefer and Seneca, the past 10 games have slowed down. If Demidov has a chance at the Calgary, he needs a 6-8 point gap unless Dobesh wins. Oh, Brodzinski with a wide open net. He cannot beat Fowler. I mean, the Rangers are really. Oh my God, what a terrible giveaway. You guys are constantly talking about the back pass being like a really bad way to start the power play. Well, the Rangers did the thing that I think you guys have like always long feared the Habs maybe do, which is literally just back pass it right to a player on the other team. Oh my God, Evans, man, just beating his guy totally. What a play, Evans. Oh my God, what a save Fowler on a Lafreniere. Damn. Evans nearly broke free and scored on a what basically became a breakaway. He just beat his guy coming around the outside, and then Fowler just robs Lafreniere. Holy moly! How did he do this? Puck is bouncing cross ice. He got a tip of it, but look at Evans, man. Evans just plowed. What is Fox doing? Fox is just checked out of this season. He's ready for summer. He's had an awful year. One of the best defensemen in the league, but he looks like he does not give a crap. And now we're back to 5-on-5, and the second line is out there looking for more. Nice little wraparound attempt by Kapanen. All right, Demidov in the corner. He's got to be cheesed off now. Nice shot. Yeah, he's definitely looking for revenge on that hit earlier. I hardly get any Habs suck anymore from Habinations. Yeah, there's a when you've won 7 in a row and you're gunning for second place in the division and potentially in the conversation for first in the conference. There's not a lot of criticisms of the Habs. Um, and just honestly, I mean, obviously goaltending helps a lot, but I do feel like defensively they've shored up a little bit. I mean, they're definitely still giving away their chances, but they look good. They look as like in a league where there's a lot of parity and there isn't because of the cap, there aren't really that many perfect teams. The Canadiens are built very well. Like they are, you know, they're not the perfect team. They could definitely run into a big strong team that might take them out, but skill wise, they are as good as anybody. Depth wise, they're as good as anybody. With the new cap over 2 seasons, can the Habs afford to keep both goalies? That is a really, really difficult question. I think they need to try to sign them as soon as possible. If they make 6.5, 7.5, you cannot keep both. If you can somehow get Dobesh locked in soon at like maybe 3.5, 4, maybe you can sign both for like a 3, 4 year stretch. I don't think that you can sign both for 8 year deals and keep them both. I think if you can keep them for a couple of years, you can maybe keep them both. So I would be so amused if Bergevin showed up in a red suit as the Leafs GM. That would be funny. Oh my God, Bergevin in Toronto would be such a mess. It'd be man, but so entertaining, so entertaining. No more 22-point Nordique teams. Well, the Canucks are pretty close to that this year. The Canucks are god awful. Extenuating circumstances though. Skill and speed, they are at 100%. Yeah, they really are just. Oh my God, they're showing that Caulfield goal again. Like, how do you even? How do you even? How did that even happen? I feel bad for the Jackets. They went on such a run now, and now they're losing some crucial games and will be out of the playoffs after tonight. I still think that the Jackets seal up that 8th spot, but ooh, it's not looking good for them. You're very right. Karen says they should have hired Bergevin last time. True Living was useless, and I loved every minute of his years in Toronto. Honestly, Karen, we make fun of Bergevin a lot on here, but if you ask me tomorrow who I would rather have, Tree Living or Bergevin, I would absolutely take Bergevin in like a minute. Bergevin at least got Nick Suzuki and Caulfield, and he signed Suzuki to a long-term deal. Whatever you want to say about him, I don't love most of the decisions he made, but that was certainly a good decision, and he did get Pacioretty and Gallagher signed to some really nice deals on the first go around. The second go around with Gallagher and less so, but the first go around was good. So Bergevin did enough for me that I'm like, he's probably better than a few GMs out there, and he's better than True Living. Toronto is so boring they could use Bergevin to spice things up. I don't know if they're boring. They're a train wreck. They're like a fun train wreck to watch. Oh, nice save by Fowler, but the Habs can't clear, and the Rangers keep the puck in. Connor Sheary, man, that guy's got 9 lives. He's pretty decent on the Rangers after kind of being left for dead in that run in Buffalo, and then Tampa. He wasn't so hot, and now the Habs top line has been out for 2 minutes now. Rangers have really like put some nice work in here. They're gonna try to have to. Okay, but looks like they're gonna get it out. They'll dump it out to the top of the blue line, and they didn't get every one of them out, but and then the Rangers ice the puck. Karen asks, "Did I miss something? Is Mark Bergevin the GM?" No, but Karen, we've all long speculated that one of the new GM jobs that's going to open up this offseason, that Bergevin will probably get one of them, and Toronto seems like as good as any for him to get. As weird as it would be for Toronto to get like, uh, eat reheat Montreal's 10 year ago nachos. I do think that Bergevin is going to get a job eventually with somebody. Evans, nice try, kicking the puck off his skate onto his stick. Yeah, just don't let Bergevin unrestricted free agency. Kind of a weird thing, and some of those late, like in the last 2 years, his extensions were pretty bad as he tried to keep that team together. Mark says Bergevin will not make it as a GM, will not work as again as a GM. You heard it here first. Yeah, Mark's, you've been pretty adamant about that, but I don't know, man. The winds are changing around here. The winds are changing in the league. They're trying to get him a job somewhere. The Leafs haven't even hired an executive search firm yet. I have a horrible feeling that they're going to let Keith Pelly figure this one out. He seems like a real guy who thinks he has all the answers in this world. I have to say. Sorry. Sorry, Leafs fans. I mean, this is a textbook road game tonight. I mean, Habs are playing great. I really don't see the Rangers doing much of anything tonight. Fowler was very good that period. He only had to make 5 saves in the end, but I agree, he was very good. The Taju and Markov get a dog thing was his downfall. Other than that, he did an okay job. Yeah, he did like, I don't know. I don't think he did. He kept I think his downfall was that he kept Sylvain Lefebvre in the AHL, and Sylvain Lefebvre ruined literally every single prospect. And now Sylvain Lefebvre is a crazy conspiracy theory weirdo, as far as I've been told. Um, as far as I've been told, allegedly. So yeah, there's just not a lot there for that the farm system in the 10 years that Bridgman was here, and that was his downfall. Bergie's best move was letting Kotkaniemi go. The worst was drafting him. The thing about Kotkaniemi, like, yes, letting him go was bad, was good, but then he replaced him with Dvorak and then tried to like run it back, and the team was like not good. So like it was so like in a vacuum, And this is the thing about Bergevin. A lot of his moves in a vacuum were like, oh, it's a pretty good move. But there was no team build. There was never any team building while he was here. Never found a center that could be a top six center. Never really like when there was problems with the team, never really like fixed anything. Like he just made these one for one deals constantly that never really brought the team anywhere else. Anyways, we're not gonna get really. Are we talking about Bergman? I guess that's my fault. He is gonna get a new job, so I understand why we're talking about this. New Leafs GM got excited, found an old cigarette machine and had players. That's funny. 147 picks by Mark Bergevin. None of them matured out of Laval, save for Dobesh. Caulfield exception. Nick was a fluke. Obviously, he didn't draft Nick. Bergevin was his own worst enemy ego thing. Yeah. Bergevin, the Habs are 28-8-8 on the road this year. They are, sure. Matt Radulov. Typing bad again. That's okay. I was pretty sure I knew what you were talking about. Markov went into negotiations without an agent, admitted it was a mistake after. Yeah, for sure. No. Like, I'm not saying that, like it was a situation that went bad. I'm not like Bergevin fucked up. Like, it's his responsibility at the end of the day to have put the best team on the ice. And way too often he made personal decisions that made the team worse, and then he had to like frantically make changes to like make things better. The crazy move to me, the one that like I never fully understood, was when he traded Sergachev for Drouin, put Drouin at center, and then a year later suggested, well, there was another deal for a center that didn't work out, so we just put Drouin at center. So why did you make the original deal? Like what? Like that was the deal that never made any sense to me. The like, you know what I mean? Those are like those weird one for one deals that don't have any vision, where it's like, okay, we're gonna get Drouin, but we're never gonna get him a center to play with, and we're gonna trade this defenseman who's like a great prospect. Like there has to be like layers to the moves that you make. Say what you want about like some of the moves that Hughes has made. You know, he didn't like Barron didn't work out in the end, but like he didn't sit there and be like Barron's our top right defenseman now, and like that's that. He got Barron, and then he got Dobson, and then he drafted Reinbacher. Like he loaded up with opportunities on in the areas where the Canadians are weak, and then you just need like one guy to work out, and then you're golden. People loved the Drouin trade. He was a very skilled player. I think he could have done better here. The injury started to creep up. His wrists are made out of confetti. Uh he never got put in a position I think where he played with particularly talented players, and they made him play center, which is almost as dumb as Vegas playing Mitch Marner at center right now. It was Pierre Luc Dubois. Yeah, it might have been Pierre Luc Dubois, but they didn't get him. I wonder what would have happened if the Habs had gone. He was a bust. Drouin was a bust. Yeah, no, Drouin wasn't very good. No, it was a bad trade. Sergachev's a great defenseman. He's still a great defenseman. No, it was a terrible trade. What I'm saying is that there was no vision. It was like, we need some more offense. I'm going to trade for Drouin. But he just like robbed Peter to pay Paul, right? The team needed defense too. So he just swapped a very promising young defenseman for a promising forward. Didn't insulate that forward with anybody. He kind of failed. And then like what? Sergachev goes to Tampa where he gets to play with Victor Hedman and he's insulated in a great place and he becomes an elite, not elite defenseman, but like a top four defenseman. Like those are the kinds of moves that he made that I was just always like, Bergevin gets a lot of credit for the 2021 playoff run, but without Price, they were out of the first round. And he inherited Price. All the best players he inherited, right? I mean, that's how it happens, right? Hughes inherited Suzuki and Caulfield, so that's how it goes. Playing Suzuki at winger at the Olympic Games. Well, the Olympics are just different because there's just so many. It's like an all-star team, right? Put them where you put them. To the Leafs GM job, Pierre Maguire. Oh my God, that ship has sailed. Max says, I agree. Bergie was very reactionary in moves. Yeah, exactly. He was never like You'd never see him pull off a move like trade for Dobson. Say what you guys want about Dobson, like that aggressive move where it's like I'm gonna build the draft, so I'm gonna build so that I have two draft picks to trade. Build that, get Heineman by a trade. Like that's what Hughes does, right? Hughes like builds up assets and then moves them out for the things that he likes, and then hopefully it works out. Might not work out, but at least that's the vision, right? The Blue Jackets picked his pocket, didn't expect him to draft him, was all downhill after that, looking for Eller's replacement. Where did the Habs draft that draft though? The Dubois draft. I don't feel like they're really like around. I agree with you though. The it was not he was the late comer because the Habs drafted ninth. Hell of a guess that Dubois would drop that far. Drouin always wanted to be a tennis player. His dad pushed him into hockey. That makes a lot of sense. Not that his bad wrists would not have done him any favors in tennis, though. Drouin trade was a bust, and then he made it worse by giving him an undeserved huge contract. Mark says, I still say Bergevin was the worst GM in Habs history. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, the thing is that he was there for a long time, so it's like a pretty long stretch of like not doing great. Whereas a lot of other like not very good GMs didn't last very long. Like, what would you say about like? Do you even remember anything that Andre Savard did? I don't even remember what Andre Savard did. I mean, Reggie Hull, traded Roy, didn't do so great there. Skydigger asks, "What happens with Kirby Doc next season?" I think he's out. I think they just have a lot of forwards, and $4 million can be spent better elsewhere. I think Doc is gone. I think Doc is gone personally. This is my guess. 4 million is like a lot to ask for a guy that hasn't really been able to stay on the ice, and I just feel like that money can be spent in other ways. I love Rajon Uhl. I love Rajon Uhl, the player and the person, and by all accounts, he's a great dude. And you and I both know that he was hired by Molson to do Molson's bidding, and it's not like he wasn't sitting there being like, "We got to get rid of Patrick Waugh." He was just the guy to execute it. Um, but yeah, he wasn't qualified to be a GM. But I don't dislike the guy. Yeah, that seems to be the general. I mean, does anybody think? I'll ask. That's a good question to ask everybody. Let me know. Do you think Doc will be back next season? Let me know how you feel. All right, got some. All right, here we got Irving Grundman drafted Wickenheiser over Denis Savard. I'll say didn't work out. I know it didn't work out, but I will say this about Doug Wickenheiser. If you look at like more of like from a fancy stat perspective, Doug Wickenheiser actually in the first couple of years in the Habs showed a lot of promise, and they kind of like didn't put him in a spot to succeed. He could have been really good potentially, but there was like kind of like in between front offices and like kind of got lost in the shuffle. But Doug Wickenheiser, he got hurt as well, I believe. But Doug Wickenheiser actually like had some potential to be quite good in this league. It didn't pan out, and he's like kind of looked at as like an all time guy who didn't work out. But there was like if you look deep in the stats, like some new stats that we didn't have available back then, it's like okay, he actually was a guy on the up, but it didn't work out. Karen says no, Doc won't be back. Habination says those were the rough days. Which ones? The Reggie Houle days? Yeah. Mark says, no more Doc. He's got the talent, but he's too frail. Uh, Bob says, on this night in history, LaFleur scored twice to reach 50 for his sixth straight season in 1980. Well, perhaps a certain guy might do it for the first time tonight. It's possible. Skygager doesn't think Doc will be back. Mark says, LaFleur is my all-time favorite Hab. What if Caulfield rolls off six straight 50-goal seasons? Will he be your favorite then? Doc is a gamble. Health factor overrides his ice play. Time to cut the cord. I wish him well. Just unlucky. Yeah, I will say that like as a player, I like his play. I think he could be a good player in this league. Not a second line center, but he could be like a good power winger. He could evolve into a Josh Anderson type potentially, but like more of a passing style. But it just feels like sunk costs now, right? You don't want to like put more money into him. He's an asset. I don't think he'll be discarded for nothing. The problem, Habinations, though, is the $4 million qualifying offer. Every team in the league knows that the Canadiens are probably like not convinced that they're going to give him the qualifying offer. So why would you trade something for him unless it's like, a third round pick or something where you're like, yeah, I'll beat the line and pay the qualifying offer for him. But if you know that the Canadiens might not issue the qualifying offer and make him an unrestricted free agent, um, you might just try to wait out and see if you can get Doc in free agency. That's the thing about. So while I do think teams think he's pretty good, and I do think that at like $2 million, lots of teams would be interested. The qualifying offer makes it tough. It makes him not valuable on the trade market. Sign and trade. Yeah. I mean, if a team thinks he's worth four, or if like a team is so under the cap, they're just like to hell with it. I can give four to him and see what happens. I don't think so though. Think what you like to think, Mark and Rick, Karen says, but the facts don't match your delusions. Oh, and nominated 3 or 4 times for GM of the year. Doesn't exactly fit the criteria of worst GM in Habs history. Yeah, I don't know. I think he had Carey Price that masked a lot of the issues that was going on with the team. Also, the culture was pretty bad around here, unfortunately. If you ask anybody who's covering the team at that time, if that matters. Karen says Saku Koivu, my all-time favorite. Loved Saku Koivu. I wish we'd given him some better teams to play on. He was good in St. Louis, but as a defensive forward. Who are we talking about? Oh, Wickenheiser. Yeah, Wickenheiser. Like Ryan Paling. Yeah, exactly. Like that kind of style. Karen will never see eye to eye. The man in the red suit. Remember, he never won. He lost more than he won. No, can't see Doc back and Line gone. Lots of cap money to spend. There's not that much cap money. You know what? I look at the team actually. There's not as much as we think. New contracts kick in. The Hudson contract kicks in. They do have to be kind of. They've got money to spend, but they've got to be kind of judicious, right? Demonov's getting a huge deal in 2 years. They might sign him this summer. Um, they've got to start thinking about the goalie situation if these guys get long-term deals. So, uh, yeah, you're getting to the point where 4 mil is like, I don't know. I don't know. Al Wilson, the man, says, see what happens at end of the year. You never know what could happen in the playoffs. Maybe Doc scores some big goals and people love him again. Absolutely. He might be back for the playoffs. Absolutely. Karen, all the possibilities of winning doesn't make you a winner. Habination says they got so much cap. Kirby Doc was Hughes' worst trade. We lost Romanov for that stiff. Doc needs to find a league with 30-game schedule. Honestly, the thing is that they have Gooley, and Gooley and Romanov are like kind of the same player. Like they're already in a spot right now where they have too many left-handed defensemen. So I think if they ended up keeping Romanov, they probably would have traded Gooley anyway. So I don't know which one you would have liked more. Honestly, Romanov's great, but he also has had his injury trouble. Let me check out old Puckpedia. Let's see how much cap space we have next year. There is so there's 12 million um, projected cap space next season, and the Canadiens need to resign Bolduc for sure. Veleno might come back, but I mean he makes the minimum. Who cares? And then maybe Doc comes back, and then Arbor Jackeye needs a contract, and Arbor Jackeye is the one that I'm kind of like. I know we don't think about it. Uh, I've heard enough people who think that Michael Anlauer and the Ottawa Senators love Arbor Jack. Michael Anlauer loves Arbor Jackeye from junior, owned the junior team, and then Anlauer loved Jackeye on the Habs and pushed for them to get Jackeye. If they let Jackeye go into the opportunity because he is arbitration eligible, if he's in the possibility of getting a offer sheet, I absolutely think Ottawa will sign Arbor Jackeye to an offer sheet or at least offer him one. That's my like off-season guarantee. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's money they got to think about if they want to keep Jackeye or not. Jackeye might be somebody that they let go. If they offer Jackeye like 3 years, 10 mil, are the Habs going to bring back Jackeye? Absolutely not. But I could totally see the Ottawa Senators spending that money. Romanov is a top tier defenseman in the New York Islanders. He's played like 10 games this year. I like Romanov a lot, but he's had some serious injury problems this year. So he wouldn't be playing if he a good defenseman for sure, but I don't know. And I just don't know like they would have traded Gooley. So I don't know if like Romanov, I don't know. It wasn't a great. I'm not saying it worked out super great. Doc didn't wasn't what they wanted in the end, but I still think Romanov gets traded no matter what. Maybe trade Carrier too. Not if they I don't think so because he's got 1 year left on his deal and unless they trade for another right-handed defenseman, but I think they'll happy to keep him as depth. Canes would match an offer sheet if it's a division rival. Really? Would they? They barely play Jackeye as it is. Would they really want to keep him at 3 mil just to like stick it to the Senators? I'd like to see Arbor go where he's appreciated. Mark says, "Yeah, no, that's why I think Ottawa might be a." Just heard Vic Router's retiring. Anybody gonna be applying for that curling gig? Yeah, let me give him a call. I'd love to do curling. They have Engstrom and Reinbacker. They don't really see. I don't really see Jack as a forward next season. Ottawa lets him play. Good for him. Yeah, it's just the stars are kind of lining up for that one potentially, especially if they trade Brady Kachuk, which I think they'll do as well. I think Andlauer is going to be very impatient if they don't make the playoffs, and he's going to try to re, reset that team. They have a lot of talented players. I think they want to build around Stutzla. Brady Kachuk, I think, is kind of dragging him down right now. Try again next year and see if Linus Ullmark is in the headspace to be good. Skydicker says, I think Struble and Arbor are gone this offseason. I think Struble sticks around as the seventh defenseman. and then they figure out something about right D. Basically, let Reinbacher and Engstrom fight for the job next year, and then the loser's the first call up in Laval, and chances are you'll need them both. So yeah, we're back for the third period. The Canadiens lead 2-0. Reinbacher injured often like Doc. Yeah, but you know what? You never those things happen. You can't quite like label a guy right away. Doc, I think is we can label him at this point. He has been very injury prone, but Reinbacher's situation is potentially a little different. And he's playing quite well right now, so and he's right and also he's just a right-handed defenseman. And the right-handed defenseman will always get a million chances. Oof, Slavkovsky leaving his zone. They're just gonna let him sail right through. Yeah, let him sail right through the neutral zone. Oh, he tried to do exactly that play he did to set up Caulfield last game, and he almost succeeded. Now the first line is setting up in the offensive zone. Caulfield in front. $21 million on three players whose totals don't equal one third liner. Who are you talking about? Who is this? Who are these three players? I thought maybe you were talking about the Anderson, Deneau, Gallagher line, but they're better than a third. I mean, Anderson is a third liner in and of himself. Demidov, really nice chance entering the zone there. Hopefully, Reinbacher becomes a thing. I hope Reinbacher becomes a thing too. He's really righted the ship in Laval, and he might have a chance to play for a championship in Laval. And if he plays for a championship in Laval, I think you can feel pretty comfortable about like giving him a really good shot to make the lineup in October. Um, yeah, health is going to be an issue. It's going to dog him for a little bit, but hopefully he can. It's not such a big deal if Reinbacher makes it or not. Yeah, it's like mentally it's a big deal because they used a high pick on him, but they did trade for Dobson. I think recognizing that they needed an elite puck moving D. Uh, Engstrom could end up being that guy anyway. Maybe Engstrom becomes the guy that they thought Reinbacher would be. Or they could use their cap space to get another right-handed defenseman. So no, you're right. Love seeing Slav carry the puck. Yeah, me too. Teams won't commit 30 or 40 million for four players like Toronto did. No, that's why you got to lock up these guys early. I know we all saw that Slavkovsky deal and we're like, oh, this is a bit early to sign him. But Caulfield, Suzuki, same thing. But we're seeing now the benefits of signing guys early. Hudson, Hudson's going to be a bargain at the money he's making. What about Montreal trading up in the draft? That doesn't seem like Hughes's. I mean, like a little bit, like maybe a Hage type thing where they see like a guy who's like five spots ahead that they really like, and then you trade like a first rounder and a second rounder for the first rounder, like something like that. But they're not going to trade for into the lottery. I mean, nobody does that anymore. Zibanejad with a really nice shot off the rush, but ooh, Zibanejad and Lafreniere are showing some nice chemistry together, but they haven't been able to figure it out yet. and the Habs are able to dump it out, and they're gonna ice it. Looks like it. They won't trade up. They want players in the NHL now. Yeah, the only reason why they would trade up is like if they trade 2 picks for a pick. You know what I mean? I find it's a big deal if Ryan Backer doesn't work out. He was picked very high in the draft, and we passed on some talented players to take him. He needs to work out. Uh, I mean, the team is already very good, and there's other ways they can get a right-handed defenseman. Like, if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't mean the Habs aren't going to be contenders. Like, Ryan Backer probably isn't the. If Ryan Backer pans out, life is amazing, and they're going to be super happy because he's exactly what they need. They need a big right-handed defenseman. But if it doesn't pan out, there are other ways to get a right-handed defenseman, and it would suck that you like didn't that pick didn't work out, but I don't think it's like it's not like the end like it's not like the rebuild didn't work out, right? Like you already got 3 elite players from a rebuild, which is like way more than most teams get. Oh, Gallagher goes diving in. He had to fly over to the back of the net just to avoid running the goalie over. Karen says it must be weird doing all the talking and we just type answers and questions. You don't realize how self-absorbed I am. It's not true. I love talking to myself. I agree he has to make it soon, like next year. Well, I think Reinbacker either he makes it next year and he's pretty good, or it won't work out for him because he's like pretty close right now. So, what's it gonna take? You know. I've seen a few Laval games. He looks pretty good. Yeah, that seems to be the like consensus. He's pretty good. Suzuki trying way too hard to find Caulfield there, and the puck's going the other way. Oh, we got some scores here. Sens 2-1 over the Sabres. Tampa 4-2 over the Pens. Wow, Tampa really blew that game open. And then the big one is Panthers over Boston. If the Panthers win tonight, I feel like the Habs are really sitting pretty to like Boston. They don't got to worry about it anymore. Pretty close to it. Suzuki kind of got crunched in the boards kind of awkwardly by Laba. Went back to the bench, but not labored or anything. He seems fine. Mourinho says if he doesn't make the Habs, he'll be good trade material. I do think that that's still a possibility. That they find a right hand defenseman another way, and then use him as trade bait to get another forward. That's definitely possible. I think, but if he's close to being good, like being ready, then I think they would just rather see what they have in him. Dvorak has more goals than Mishkov on the Flyers. No, Mishkov's not the guy they missed. I think Ryan Leonard. Brian Leonard, I like a lot. Ryan Leonard's probably the guy that I'm like, I would like to see him. Mishkov didn't want to come here. We know that. Like that's been Lafreniere with a nice shot. Man, he and Zibanejad are like playing well together. They haven't scored, but I like what they're the only line that's doing anything tonight. Ooh, scramble in front, and they finally score. What a weird sequence. Gavrikov, Fowler's down, man, and the Habs just don't know where the puck is. So this is the second straight game where Fowler, and I didn't want to mention it, Where Fowler entered the third, right, with a shutout bid, and kind of gets ended on like a kind of a meh kind of shot. Yeah, Leonard's the guy from that draft that I'm like, could you imagine him on the second line right now? It'd be pretty sweet. Anyways, 2-1. You know, maybe this will give the Habs a little bit of urgency. I can't say the Habs have played really well tonight, but I can't say they're like stomping their feet on the Rangers, which they could do. Yeah, I feel like none of us were brought up a shutout because we didn't want it to. Oh shoot, the Rangers are all over the Habs right now. Wow, they just gave it. Rangers have been like the worst passing team that I've seen in forever. I feel like half the time they completely miss their passes. Oh, Dobson with a shot that gave up a huge rebound. They definitely are shooting far on Shesterkin, and it's definitely working. Shesterkin's got a little bit of Montembeau in him tonight, where he just seems to like not handle the far shots pretty good. Rick Woods, good old Dobson behind the play on that goal as usual. Yeah, they missed. They all missed their guys on that one. Canadiens need to step it up. Open netter for Cole. Yeah, the Canadiens, if they don't seal this one up, I think they'll definitely regret it. This is like a pretty easy 2 points, and they had the 2-0 lead. Don't let the Rangers get back in this. Come on. Oh, what a stop by Foul. Foul is really just saving their butts right now. There you go. Just dump the puck in. Force the Rangers to make a mistake because the Rangers have been making terrible mistakes with the puck all night. So just like keep letting them do that. You knew the game would be tough after beating the Canes twice in the Bulls and meeting a bottom feeder, kind of like the Avs losing to the Canucks last night. Yeah, exactly. I mean, but yeah, again, they're up 2-0, so like you don't want to let these 2 points pass you by. But yes, I think everybody expected a the Canadiens to like look at this game on the schedule and be like, okay, we got this, but you never quite got this in the league. Anybody can beat anybody anytime. That is, I mean, it's true. It is totally true in this league. Some teams are better than others, but on any given night, that's not gonna count, is it? It's all tied up. Will Cooley's great. I would offer sheet that guy. I don't think he was willing to take an offer sheet though. The only question is that goalie interference? There's two guys in the crease. Dobson trying to clear the net here. Nah, I think Dobson messed that one up. But he's in the crease. He went in the crease willingly. He's calling a timeout. What do you think? You think he's going to challenge this one? That was two plays tagged on Dobson here. I don't think so. Habs are not playing smart. They got two complaints that they absolutely checked out of this game, and the Rangers, who've been playing pretty well lately, are back in it. Not a great. Ryan Cat says, I wouldn't challenge it. Yeah, I don't think so either. God, he kind of touches the leg, and you're a bit like, maybe. Nope, not going to challenge. What a unfortunate turn of events here. But the Habs definitely got very complacent. And they're going to pay the price. Fowler's played so well, and then the team has let him down. My only complaint with Dobson is that he plays soft. He definitely did not take Pimp Fash. You have why did you only come here now that they're tied? They literally are on a 7-game winning streak. Now you're coming in. You're hilarious, dude. You're hilarious, my dude. Two plays where they gave Fowler no chance. Yeah, I wouldn't tag either of those on Fowler. Habs have won 6 in a row. You can expect a game like this. Yeah, but they were up 2-0 though. That's the thing that stinks about it. We need to be better at those plays. Why challenge? Habs have been loose all period. They figure it's in the bag and play terrible defense. Jeez Louise. You guys are so negative. There's still plenty of time. You never know what can happen. What? I was behind. Well, now it's 2-2. You missed 2 goals potentially. Not great. Not great. Any night is Saturday night. Cole for the goal. Well, now he's got a chance to score a game winner, which he has done plenty of times. Bob, that's what happened to Price and Monty. Ugh, I can't believe that they just... Against the Rangers. Terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. So can the Canadiens shake off a really lousy stretch here? We shall see. They let a team with nothing to lose stick around. That's exactly what happened. How much time? There is 5:13 left in the game. They need to learn to step on teams' necks and finish it off. That is an important thing that they're going to have to learn as they get older, for sure. For sure. This is not an impressive third period for the Habs. So is Dobson a -2 then? He was he's a minus he is indeed a -2. Well, it's 49 goals for Cole Caulfield. There's 5:05 to play. The Habs just retook the lead. So what happened here? Unreal. Give that money to Hudson. They gave Hudson $8.85 million or whatever it was. Rick, I mean, come on, dude. Noah Dobson does way more. He definitely makes his mistakes on defense, but come on, he does so much with the puck. It's kind of I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, 3-2 Habs with 5:05 to play. Just like that. Unbelievable. This team has woken up. They were tired of blowing it in the third to Rick, you're gonna die on this hill about Noah Dobson. Noah Dobson's a good player. I don't know what to tell you, man. Noah Dobson's a really good player. He just is. I He's not perfect. He's not perfect. But yeah, the one thing that we can all agree on, Cole Caulfield is 1 goal away from 50. Can you believe it? Did you guys in your wildest dreams think he's going to score 50 goals this year? Anyways. Take a vote. Okay, let's take a vote. I mean, it's not a. I don't. I don't have a count. I don't have a counter here. I wish I had a counter like on the old site. I don't have a counter, so I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna have to. How about empty net goal for number 13, you mean? He's not 22 anymore. We got Matheson holding the guy. They want a call. There's no call. I mean, it's all Rangers right now at 225. They're desperately trying to get back in this one. They're not giving up. The Rangers are a bad team, but they put a good effort tonight. I'll give them some credit. But they do stink though. They are a sneaky team. Dano is hurt, by the way. What happened to him? They need to get the puck out of here. Man, what a brutal shift for the Habs, though. Dano was on 2 minutes. He's hurt. Definitely something was up with him. And then Suzuki sails it, but Caulfield's on. Does he have a chance to get his... Slavkovsky's there. Oh, Will Cooley with a nice shot. But Fowler keeps it. So what happened to Dano here? Took a shot. He seems a little winded. It looks like he kind of took it in the chest, like in the side. Anyways, he doesn't look great. Rangers call a timeout with 58 seconds left. If Reinbacher becomes a Dobson, they can trade Dobson in a few years and use the money for something else. That is, in theory, something they could do. Or they could just have them both and be very happy. And if Reinbacher becomes a Dobson, oh my goodness, they will be very, very, very happy. We got a little 9.5's a little too much for Dobson, but I like him. Blue says Dobson, shot leader. This game has changed from the first period, Harry says. Cole's getting 55. I'll listen as the man says Dobson is good to great, but the thing with him is he doesn't use his size to his advantage, so he could be even better. Yeah, that's fair. Like, he definitely is somebody who's like, he does tantalize with his size that he doesn't use necessarily to great effect. Karen says 9.5's a little high now, but it won't be in a couple of years. That's also a very good point. You do sign these contracts for the future, in the way that, like, people said Suzuki's deal was expensive and now it's not. Three-one Sens. Oh my goodness. So the Sens keep their season alive. Good for them. Chances of Caulfield hitting 50 now the same as us making the playoffs. 99%. All right. The net is empty. Can the Canadiens hang on here with an empty net? Can they even potentially add to their total with an empty netter here? I mean, Rangers basically operating like it's a power play right now. What a block by Caden Gooley. Can you defer money in contracts like the Major League Baseball? You cannot. Well, it doesn't affect the cap. You can stretch. You can't defer the money past the deal, but you can like pay more now and later, and then like the cap stays even. Standing pat at the deadline takes cojones. You're happy with Gordon Hughes at the moment and Nick Bobrov. The Rangers are in front. They got the puck is loose. Fowler's down, and the Habs dump it down the ice. They're gonna get an icing with 3 seconds to go. Oh boy. I mean, again, feeling pretty calm about the goaltending situation, at least in these games. And Fowler, man, the Fowler more than Dobesh has had to deal with these like final minute onslaughts. And Fowler, man, I trust him in the final minute of a game. I gotta say, he seems like a guy who elevates in these moments. All right, 3 seconds to go. Evans wins the faceoff, and it is over. Oof. Oof. They made us sweat that one a little bit, but the Habs have won 7 in a row. We all thought when they were up 2-0, maybe life would be a little easier in this game, but no, they made us sweat to the last possible minute. But yeah, they've won 7 in a row for the first time since 2016. Harry says, should have been a shutout, but we'll take it. Skydigger gives a woohoo. That's 7 in a row, Ryan Cat says. We're not ceding the division to anyone. Yeah, what's going down? Should I check out quickly just what the NHL scores? Let's see how everybody else is doing here. We got Senators won 4-1. Lightning won 6-2 over the Pens. And hey, the Panthers did indeed beat the Bruins. So I think the Canadiens are in a very good position here. What's the Liveblog schedule for the weekend? Blue says that was a game the Habs could have easily lost, taken them for granted, but the elite offense comes through in the clutch. And that's really the thing about this team, man. If Caulfield just wants to win it, they can win it. So how do the standings look right now? So I'm just waiting for things to update. But Tampa's at 100 points, right? Tampa's at 100 points. So Sabres are at 100. Tampa's at 100. Canadiens are at 98. Bruins are at 94. So the Habs are 4 up on the Bruins and pretty close to. Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you both, Marks. So yeah, the Habs are 4 up on Boston. That's with Boston losing today. That's really huge. And the Canadiens play home and home this weekend against the Devils, who are like the Rangers, playing a little better, even though their season went in the tank. But the Canadiens have a very good chance to at least win one of those and keep a good pace going. Um, Man, and Cole Caulfield, Max says uh, he had JT Miller shaking his head all the way back to the bench after that goal. JT Miller is reaping what he sowed. Wanted to go back to the Rangers, and now the Rangers are bad, and the Rangers are bad because it's mostly his fault because they're having a bad year. And now, instead of a Vancouver team with Quinn Hughes, it seemed like maybe there was some potential there. He's now stuck with the Rangers as they attempt what I would imagine is a pretty bad reload this offseason. But hey, they still got Shesterkin. I thought they were, again, I thought they played pretty well tonight. I thought they tried hard, but I will say that the Rangers looked severely deficient in talent. They did not look like they were not a particularly intimidating team. They had a nice little stretch where they got two on Fowler, but I can't say that what I saw was super exciting. Do we own the tiebreaker? Oh my god, I don't even remember the tiebreaker situation, Al. I'm sorry. I'll come back at you guys next week with the tiebreaker situation because I guess now it comes into play. There's a very real chance that the Canadiens could be up in there with Tampa on the tiebreaker at the end for home ice advantage. JT Miller was named the Rod Gilbert Mr. Ranger before the game. This is, man, no false idols, right? Is this what's going on? The Rangers like worship JT Miller. They wanted him back so badly. I don't know why. He's a good player, no doubt about it. But he's a little older. He's like a weird, like intense dude. Doesn't seem to handle losing particularly well. So I just don't know. Didn't seem like a good fit, and now that team's imploded. Vancouver Canucks have imploded too, admittedly. So, but this is all about the Habs. The Habs have won 7 in a row for the first time in regulation since 2016. Cole Caulfield is 1 goal away from 50. He will get a chance to do it against the Devils on Saturday and Sunday. Maybe he does it against Jake Allen. Maybe Jake Allen's in goal and he beats Jake Allen, and wouldn't that be fun? So, good night to everybody. Thank you so much for attending. As always, hidden game coming later tonight on the Montreal Gazette website. About last night, tomorrow morning, we got some very special episodes of Hockey Inside Out on the YouTube channel, also on our website. We're also, Hockey Inside Out, guys, is on Spotify and Apple News. Not Apple News, Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Check those out. If you want to listen on audio, you can listen to Stu, Rick, and Nux give their take on the Habs this week. The episode's blowing up. People are loving it. So, yeah, please do check it out. And thank you all for attending, and have a good night.